We help contractors by the hundreds with all of the administrative burdens that surround handling their construction projects. That means helping them with Xactimate estimating, working with them on all the administration of their supplements, and doing the administrative services back office work that enables them to focus on selling, building, and billing.
We see contractors just starting off, maybe they're struggling with the fundamentals of running a construction business. They partner up with us, their process is now defined, they're able to grow their profit margins and actually scale because they're not held back with the burden of dealing with the supplementing process. I feel proud of what we've been able to do in this industry.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor who's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Yes, Wednesday. Our daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by Merlin Law Group, C3 Group, and RS Supplement Balance Claims. You can check them out in the description below if you're watching us here on Facebook. Apologize for the video being a little bit late. We were doing our Talk About It charity event thing a little earlier, so it delayed me from getting that forecast done as quickly as normal, but let's just jump right into it. We got a lot to talk about here. Some hail possible today across the Great Lakes region and over by the Northern Plains. We also had a pretty significant wind event in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, I think while we were doing the taco event, and so that's a 3-star map that we're going to probably be posting on social media probably pretty quickly after this video, but just that happened as well. Could Oklahoma possibly see some hail tomorrow? It looked like season was over, but we could squeak something out tomorrow. And we're watching Tropical Storm Cristobal in the Gulf of Mexico, see where he may end up in the United States here. So, but also we have our upcoming event, our 10-year anniversary. We got our last 2 episodes. This is probably our best episode, and this is not on Tuesday. It's actually on Thursday. 6:45 is going to be Leah Klein, so Derek's wife, for here. She has the insight on pretty much everything with Hail Trace from the very beginning all the way through now. So hers is pretty. Hers is probably one of the best ones. So make sure you check out that. I'm sure we'll be promoting that as well. And here's yesterday's hail maps. We made 2 3-star maps yesterday. Minneapolis was the main city at risk. Turned out the risk ended up pushing a little further to the south. We still saw that big hail though. We had upwards of 3-inch hail in Holmen, Wisconsin. We also had hail impact Winona, Minnesota. Again, that 3-inch hail was in Holmen, and we had about 38,000 homes impacted with that. You can see a couple pictures here. I believe all 3 of these were from the Holmen area. Look at that big old 3-inch stone, or no, 2-inch stone there. We got some bigger ones over here, and there's the 3-inch stone, but just looks like just under 3 inches of that. So again, pretty big hail here across Minnesota. Missed out on Minneapolis, but it hit a couple of these outside towns as well. And then last night at about 11 o'clock, we had a 3-star map happen in Buffalo, New York. We were talking about this a little bit yesterday, the potential for some storms in New York and Pennsylvania, and that's what ended up happening last night. Buffalo, Churchill, Buffalo, and Allegheny, New York hail. We had about tennis ball size hail, not in Buffalo. Buffalo area had about golf ball size hail in some spots. 54,000 homes impacted. And here's a couple pictures here. They're from the Grand Island section of the Buffalo area, both of which you see that hail ranging from probably about quarter to golf ball size here, which is pretty unusual. Buffalo doesn't really see hail too often, so go check that out as well. So for the rest of your day today, we do have a handful of areas at risk here. The most significant area at risk, South Dakota into Nebraska, and then even down to a little bit of Kansas through this evening. Could see upwards of tennis ball size hail anywhere from about Rapid City down through about North Platte, both of which have that moderate chance for that hail. And we also have another area of hail possible, kind of scattered throughout the remainder of the afternoon to the evening hours, over from Kansas City all the way through to the Washington, D.C. area. Could see that hail possibly as large as golf ball size in the strongest storms. These are going to be few and far between. That's why we have a low risk overall. The size potential, again, golf balls is definitely not out of the question for any of the storms that really can get going. For the most part, it's going to be storms scattered about. The big wind risk I'd gotten rid of because it's already moved off the coast. It looks like we had winds almost 90 miles an hour along the coast in New Jersey, and I think a ton of people have no power now in parts of eastern Pennsylvania or by the Philly area, and then through New Jersey has a very powerful squall line push through there with some intense winds, and that has since moved off the coast. So that wind threat has gone down to zero. There's a chance that the outflow of that crazy event earlier could spawn some more storms in central Pennsylvania and into Maryland. So city forecast here for Rapid City between 3 and 7 p.m. local time. Could see hail up to tennis ball size as your absolute maximum potential, but breaking it down a little further, moderate chance that moderate chance for storms today. That's for at least 1 inch hail, and then probably low chance for it being much above golf ball size. Rapid City likes to have a lot of hail that is quarter to ping pong ball size, so wouldn't be surprised if anything does happen that's up towards tennis ball size hail, but the higher chances that quarter to ping pong ball size for Rapid City. St. Louis is the other one that I picked. This is just kind of a little sample size to show what we're expecting across the rest of the risk area today. It's going to be late tonight for the St. Louis area specifically, between about midnight and 2 a.m. Could see maybe up to some golf ball size hail, and that low chance for quarters, and even lower chance for that golf ball size hail, because it's going to be kind of spotty, and the hail sizes are not going to, the hail sizes will be there, but it's whether or not it actually impacts the city. And for St. Louis specifically, it looks like it's some late night activity that doesn't really spawn as much crazy hail. So this is for the northeast. You see that system moving off the coast, and a couple other storms may form through the evening hours. Nothing too crazy. I think the craziest weather in the northeast is already passed. Pushing off to the west a little bit here in the Ohio River Valley, you can see some storms through the rest of this afternoon across Indiana, Ohio, parts of Illinois, and then later on this evening to the overnight hours, a developing complex coming from the north could see some hail with that there, specifically with St. Louis, moving through around midnight. Pushing off further north and further west across the northern plains. See those storms forming this evening around this Rapid City area, and could see some hail possibly down through Nebraska as well. That's where your biggest hail producers are going to be. Again, that tennis ball size hail is definitely possible, though likely over some rural areas. And finally, here in the Central Plains, somebody asked about Colorado. Could see some hail in far eastern Colorado. Denver, not so much today, and then a lot of activity in Kansas and into Nebraska. And I think in the late overnight hours, the storms that are pushing through Kansas heading towards Missouri are going to set the stage for some storms tomorrow. We have another very large risk area to contend with here, but it does bring Oklahoma City and Tulsa back into the risk as we have those storms moving through Kansas later on in the overnight hours. It's going to lay out a boundary somewhere in Oklahoma, whether it's northern Oklahoma, central Oklahoma, southern Oklahoma, as remains to be seen, and we could see hail. I'm saying golf balls right now, but depending on how things play out tomorrow, how things set up in the morning, this could end up changing a whole lot. This is just kind of a blanket, hey, we could see some big hail here. So we got that low chance for Oklahoma City golf balls, but if anything does look a little bit more significant, there's enough instability in Oklahoma tomorrow to see some massive hail, assuming we have the proper trigger. So we'll see how this plays out this time, or a little earlier tomorrow. We'll actually have the video at noon tomorrow, I promise. Better chance of hail, though, up further north into southeastern sections of South Dakota and into Nebraska, where you could see that tennis ball size hail. Your best chance right now, I think, is going to be Sioux Falls, but hey, you got Omaha in there too. And yes, Kansas City is actually showing up a little bit here. Say, does Indy look promising tonight? It's going to be pretty scattered about here, so it's a low chance for Indy. I think probably very similar to places like Cincinnati and everything, where you're going to have storms in and around the area. Nothing particularly violent about it to make it the really big hail, so you could see a pop-up storm in and around the Indy area. And then with that tomorrow, very similar to today, where you could see that hail across sections of like Nashville, Tennessee, the Kentucky area, over by Charlotte. Low end chance, I have a marginally severe hail. I think the wind is going to be more of a threat tomorrow than the hail. And we break down that future radar. We're going to start and go north to south here. Northern Plains for your day tomorrow. It's pretty big storms forming in the evening. This particular model run had the storms forming in Iowa and into sections of Nebraska, possibly over by Omaha. Excuse me, guys. I had a lot of tacos earlier. And I also have here, specifically, this one probably gets your attention. This particular model wants to have some pretty big storms forming in Oklahoma County tomorrow. Again, the outflow of the complex that is going to move through tonight. This will be something to watch pretty carefully here. Again, especially because it kind of looked like Oklahoma might have been done. And we could see some pretty intense storms across Oklahoma tomorrow. And then moving east into the Ohio River Valley and parts of the southeast. A lot of just kind of popcorn storms across a good chunk of Tennessee and Kentucky and whatnot. So again, that could have some hail. The strongest storms could, have a small area of golf balls, but for the most part, is more the wind maker and that $quarter to $half size hail. Looking beyond today and tomorrow, Friday, there's a chance of hail. It's a kind of a marginal chance, like a conditional threat. Areas like Omaha and Kansas City. Saturday, we have a much more significant storm system moving through. I know it's a little hard to see, it's behind the title here, but parts of eastern Montana and North and South Dakota looks particularly intense in Canada for your Saturday, and that pushes east a little bit. Sunday towards Fargo, way up there. This is usually more of a July pattern, but yet here we are in early June. So that's what we're looking at for severe weather. Now completely shifting gears to the tropics. Tropical storm Cristobal has made landfall back on the Yucatan Peninsula here just about an hour ago. So it's going to do a little bit of a loop-de-loop and then eventually make its way back towards the United States. I think it making landfall and probably spending almost a full day over land is going to make it so it doesn't become a hurricane right now. If this was August and there was less shear in the atmosphere, less turning in the atmosphere to be good for tornadoes but terrible for hurricanes, if there was less of that, we could be talking about a major hurricane. But there isn't. It's early June. So chances are we're probably going to see maybe a strong tropical storm making landfall in central Louisiana going into your day on Monday. So we'll be keeping a close eye on this. Obviously, it's a hurricane season. Is known for its curveballs it likes to send. Tropical systems kind of like to do what they want. So it's very possible this thing could rapidly intensify and completely change what we're talking about. But I think it's going to hang out on land long enough where it'll be probably a fairly heavy rainmaker across Louisiana and Mississippi. But in terms of those strong winds and that hurricane chances for actual hurricane, or the chances of hail trace chasing this thing, is probably on the lower end right now. We'll be keep checking in on it every single day, so just tune in and we will keep you updated. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can watch us on your TV through that. You can follow us on Facebook, hit see first. You don't miss any posts, don't miss any of our live coverage or anything else that we like to post on our Facebook page or Instagram or Twitter as well. You can check us out at Hail Trace there. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, your first time here, you need to set up a training, whatever it may be, 855-334-4245. You can also visit info@hailtrace.com if you don't like talking on the phone, or visit our website, hailtrace.com, for more details. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. I'm going to go take a nap because I'm pretty full of tacos here, and we will see you again tomorrow, unless, of course, anything crazy happens. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.